Well, hello there. So nice to see you. Oh, I suppose I should introduce myself. My name's Paul Hutchinson. I'm a writer, an author, a poet, a connoisseur of the fine arts, a world traveler, and a collector of fair-haired women. Now, I suppose we could discuss books, modern literature, music in the 20th century, but I should much prefer to talk about my fair-haired women. They're really much, much more interesting. What's more, I'm sure you'll agree with me. For instance, there was Valerie. Lovely, lovable Valerie.
Aren't you going to tell me what it is?
I told you, darling, it's a surprise. Now close your eyes.
They're closed.
Chin up, Valerie, darling. That's the way. Sweet girl, Valerie, always smiling, always happy. Why, she was even wearing a smile when the police found her body. But not much of a smile. Oh, I liked Valerie. I liked them all. It's just that I've always been terribly fond of violence. Honestly, I get the biggest boot out of myself sometimes. Me and Jack the Ripper, how about that?
I tell you, my sister's life isn't safe, Malice. She's in danger. I think this fellow Paul Hutchinson bears watching. I think he's mentally unbalanced. We know nothing at all about his past life.
Okay, Cliff, I believe you. But so far, I haven't been able to find anything wrong. There's no record of any kind.
Then what have you been able to find out about him?
Well, that's just it. Nothing. The guy spends most of his life finding out what the rest of the world looks like. He doesn't stay put. He moves.
Steve, I don't care how long it takes, how much it costs. I want you to keep looking, keep watching, keep checking on every source of information until you find out something, anything, about Paul Hutchinson's past. Is that clear?
I've got just one lead, Cliff. At least I think it might be a lead. A girl, back east. I've got an idea she might be in Chicago. Maybe it's a bum steer, maybe not. I'm going to look for her, though. And if I find her...
All right, let's stop playing games. You're a copper, aren't you?
Sure, I'm a copper. What's wrong with being a copper, Laura?
Nothing, except I don't like coppers, private or otherwise.
It's a living, honey.
So is beating up old women if somebody pays you for it.
Now, that's hardly a fair comparison.
Oh, it's fair enough. I don't like snooping and sneaking and keyhole peeping.
Oh, Laura, baby, that's no way to talk. You didn't sound that way last night.
That was last night. You weren't a private copper last night.
Look, Laura, you can help me. You can do me a favor, really you can.
Oh, I really can I? I thought I'd already done you a favor.
Laura, you knew Paul Hutchinson. I want you to tell me about it.
Paul Hutchinson. Listen, who told you I know Paul Hutchinson? I don't know any Paul Hutchinson.
Oh, yes, you do. Or you did. Don't lie to me because I know you did.
I don't want to talk about him. I'm not going to, and you can't make me.
He used to write poems, didn't he? You remember, don't you, Laura?
Oh, yes, I remember. I remember, but I don't want to. I don't want to.
Walk with me through this last short corridor of life, my love. In this last faint flickering of light, my love. And end as all things inevitably must, my love. In deep, damp, cold, relentless night, my love. End quietly. In total darkness.
He wanted to kill me, Steve. That's all he ever wanted. That's all he ever talked about was death. Always death. The things he did to me. The things he said to me until I couldn't stand it any longer. Paul Hutchinson was mad, Steve. He was out of his mind.
You see, I was right, Nellis. Sure you were right, Cliff. And right is right. But what can we do about it?
You should have brought the Lane girl back with you.
Now, look, Cliff. I can't force the girl to do something she absolutely refuses to do. Besides, all the things she told me, they happened almost 5 years ago. What if Paul did try to kill her? Did all the violent and insane things she said he did? How can we prove anything now?
So where's Clifford? Where did Clifford go?
I have no idea where Clifford is. Why, what difference does it make?
Makes no difference. How could Clifford's casual comings and goings make a difference? Your brother Clifford, my dear, is completely unimportant to me in any and all ways to make no difference whatsoever. Do I make myself clear?
Paul, please, don't begin again. Not tonight.
Your brother
Please.
Clifford is completely insufferable, is he not? He is a malcontent, is he not? And above all else, he is a hopeless weakling of a man, if man he can be called.
If you're going to continue talking this way when I've asked you not to, I'm going to my room.
You're going to stay right where you are and hear me out, no matter what I say or who I talk about.
Paul, please, don't be angry. It's all so silly. I don't want to argue with you, Paul. I love you too much to argue with you.
Yes, you do love me, don't you? In many, many ways, and to much extent.
You know I do.
But, do you love me enough to eliminate that which displeases me most?
This is Clifford's home. It's his home as much as mine. Yet you refuse to understand why he has the right to be here. Oh, Paul, we've been over and over this so many, many times. Why? Why?
Because for the first time in my life, I'm being literally forced to tolerate something which to me is completely intolerable.
And it's my fault. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Lucille, do you see this? This is a knife. It has a very sharp blade. Feel it. Feel it!
What?
You see how sharp the edge is?
What are you doing with that knife? Carrying it around with you? Have you gone mad?
Mad? No, I'm not mad. No madder than usual. The point is, Lucille, that a knife serves a very definite purpose. It's an instrument of freedom. It cuts away or cuts loose with a large degree of finality. A large degree of finality. Do you follow me, darling?
I don't think I do. And I wish you'd stop.
Don't be frightened. For heaven's sakes, Lucille, I'm your husband. I wouldn't hurt you.
Paul, please put that knife down. You know knives frighten me.
I'm only using it to illustrate a point I intend making. How easy it is to cut things away with a knife, swiftly, cleanly, and forever. Why can't you be as uncluttered and decisive in your actions? Why do you allow Clifford to go on living here when you know it upsets me so? Spending our monies.
Paul, this is my home. And any money that Clifford spends is my money.
I don't know why I continue reasoning with you. You're completely unreasonable. Just like all the rest of them. Impractical and unreasonable, every last one of you.
One deep wound just above the heart, but quite enough.
I told you so, Malice. I knew this would happen.
Cliff, tell me again about what you saw and heard as you came into the house.
I just put my car away and started walking toward the house when I heard Lucille scream. The scream seemed to come from upstairs, so I looked up and saw Lucille and Paul struggling. I could see it all through that big picture window. When I reached the door, I discovered I'd lost my key. It took me over 5 minutes to break in the door, and it was too late. Lucille was dead when I found her. I heard the front door bang shut when Paul left.
Cliff, I know Paul Hutchinson is a homicidal maniac, but this is one piece of homicide he didn't do. I'm sure he didn't because I'm sure you did.
Say that again, Malice.
I said you killed your sister, Cliff, and I'll tell you why. If there'd been any struggle between Paul and Lucille like you say you saw through the window tonight, there should have been more than one clean wound. I think you wanted your sister's money and realized that Paul would be the perfect fall guy. So tonight you found your sister alone, killed her, and thought you'd gotten away with it. But you won't, Cliff. Not tonight or any other night.
So you see how things turn out. Because of that bungling, incompetent Clifford Hartwell, they soon caught up with me, too. They tell me I'll be here for life. And if you listen to them, they'll tell you that I'm incurably insane. Just because I like knives and dislike unreasonable women. Well, at least I'm better off than Clifford. Clifford's dead and in darkness forever. At least the sun shines through my window once in a while. You know, that's the only thing that I'm really afraid of in all this world. I'm afraid of the dark. That's right. I'm afraid of the dark.
That's it, friends. That's the story of Paul Hutchinson, author, poet, and collector of fair-haired women. Hope you enjoyed it. Come on back and see us again. And in the meantime, remember, keep your eye on the clues.